I want to do a video here to compare three small guns that I have. I actually got a request to do this video, not by a fellow YouTuber, but from someone on a local gun forum that saw that I had picked up the SIG P238 today. So you never know who's going to see your videos. I didn't even know they watched, didn't even know this person watched YouTube, much less followed my channel. But since they requested it, I will do it here. I will show, mainly they wanted to see the P238 compared to the P290, but also with the Rohrbaugh. So I will show you some sizes here. Now, as you know, the Rohrbaugh here is a 9mm, as is the P290. They are both 9mm guns. Now, the P238 is a 380, so it does have a little bit of advantage being a smaller caliber towards being a smaller gun. Now, overall, the P290 is the biggest gun here. I'll show it here compared. This is the P238 here. This is the P290. Much longer, much taller. You know, I mean, this is still not a big gun when you consider this is a 38 and this is a 9mm. Still a relatively small gun, but not as small as the P238 or the P238. Okay, let's try this one more time. Let's compare the Rohrbaugh to the P238. As you can see, the Rohrbaugh looks thinner because it's got the tapered top and this has got the square top, but the Rohrbaugh is actually a little bit thicker. Height-wise, if you line them up pretty much top to top, the Rohrbaugh is a little bit taller. And if you line them up back to back, the Rohrbaugh is a little bit longer. Now, if you went by just the measurements of each gun, the manufacturer's measurements, you'd think the P238 was much bigger, but that's because of the tang. The tang and the sights make a big difference in the measurement, whereas the Rohrbaugh doesn't really have any sights and doesn't have the tang on the back. The little beaver tail thing right here. So that was what makes this seem bigger in measurements, but it's actually smaller than the Rohrbaugh. But the Rohrbaugh is a 9mm and this is a 38. But there they are size-wise comparison. Now, if you compare the Rohrbaugh directly to the P290, it's a lot smaller. You know, the P290 is thicker, considerably longer, a little bit taller, and then plus it's got the sights on it. So the P290 is considerably larger. I mean, the P290 is still a small gun, but it only looks big when you compare it to the Rohrbaugh. Now, the thing about the Rohrbaugh is it's a double action pull only and doesn't have great sights. Not the most accurate gun I've ever shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not an inaccurate gun, but it's not the most accurate gun I've ever shot. The SIG, double action trigger also only, but a much better double action if you ask me than the Rohrbaugh. Just a little easier to shoot in my opinion, and has much better sights and is a little more accurate. Now, the P238, I haven't shot this one yet, but I did shoot a similar one the other day. It's a regular HD model. And more accurate than the Rohrbaugh by far. As accurate as the P290, but easier to shoot. It is a single action. You know, it is single action gun like a 1911. Put the safety down, pull the trigger. Very nice shooting gun. But those are the size comparisons of the three. Like I say, this one, the P290 is much larger. The P238 is just a little bit smaller than the Rohrbaugh. But if you, like I say, if you looked at the manufacturer's measurements, you'd think the P238 is bigger because they list it as longer and taller, but it's really just the sights and the little beaver tail tang here. That's the only thing that makes it bigger than the Rohrbaugh. The Rohrbaugh is a bigger gun overall. Now, weight-wise, they weigh about the same. Rohrbaugh has the alloy frame. SIG has the stainless steel frame, which I much prefer. Much prefer a stainless steel frame. The P238 has the rosewood grips here. The Rohrbaugh, of course, has these G10 grips, which I've never been a big fan of. And it's got the aluminum frame that I'm not a big fan of. But still, all three excellent guns. The most expensive of the three, of course, would be the Rohrbaugh by far. Rohrbaugh is pretty expensive gun. I think they go for up to $1,200 retail now. Whereas, you know, everyone knows the P290s in the 600 range. The P238, I think I just got this one for mid 500s. So these two are comparable priced. 9mm, 380. This is by far the most expensive of the three. But you know, you're really paying for a really small 9mm gun there. But I'm almost to the point where I would rather have a more accurate, easy to shoot 380 than I would a 9mm. If it's summertime and they're not wearing a lot of clothing, give me the round that I can place in whatever 3 spots on their body I choose to place it in easily, over the round with a little more power. Well, it's actually got considerably more power, but still, I think the 380 is sufficient for self-defense. Maybe the small end, but I think it is sufficient. But if you're considering a small gun, any one of these three would be great. If you're on a budget and you want to get something that's a little bit, you don't mind a little extra weight, but you still want a 9mm, this gun is an excellent small 9mm gun. Like I say, you're not going to break the bank on it, and you've still got a tiny 9mm. I like it better than I do the cars, and I've covered that in another video as to why I like it better than the cars. But if you're okay with a 380 and you want something deep concealment that's easy to shoot and drop dead accurate, I would really suggest looking at a P238. A couple of things I want to add about the P238. If you are looking for holsters for it, there are quite a few coming out now, but any old holster that fits a Colt Government 380 or Colt Mustang is a perfect fit for them. I mean, they're based on the same design. Perfect fit for the gun. So this is an old holster I had for my Colt Government 380, my old Mustang, and it's a perfect fit. Another thing is too, this gun is probably, if I had to say which one's the better looking of the three, this gun is easily the better looking of the three. I originally did not like the black controls. I was going to bead blast those down to the stainless finish, or buy replacements if these weren't stainless, but I did hear from SIG they are stainless. They've just been black coated. But I was going to blast those down to a stainless finish, but seeing them with the rosewood grips and the stainless frame and the black sights and black hammer and black trigger, I really like it, so I'm going to leave it that way for now. It really has grown on me, the look of it. But this is by far the prettiest of the three guns. Rohrbaugh is the smallest of with the high caliber of the 9mm. This is a bigger 9mm that's much cheaper. This one's much more expensive. So there's pretty much a quick roundup of the three guns.